Hey folks, this is Mr. H here. I'm going to give you a quick summary of practice file 2-3. I'll work through all of the math and show you what you were supposed to arrive at with this diagram here. So what we have is a comparison of an individual dropping an object from rest off of a cliff, which of course would be free fall, right? It starts at rest and then accelerates towards the ground under only the influence of gravity. In the second example, we have the individual throwing the ball out to the right horizontally, okay? So as the ball is moving horizontally at the very beginning, it still has zero initial velocity in the downward direction. So dropping a ball versus throwing a ball is similar in that they are both under the influence of only gravity once they leave the thrower's hand. The difference is the baseball over here on the right will continue to move with a horizontal velocity to the right until it strikes the ground. So what they're asking us to do here is use a scale of 1 centimeter is equivalent to 5 meters, and then draw where the ball will be every second until it hits the ground. We're going to use 10 for gravity. So for the dropped ball, right, we're just going to use the free fall equation, right? Displacement is 1/2 gt squared. You've seen this before. It was on the Mars problem on your unit test. So we're going to just go in 1 second intervals. So after 1 second, we would like to know where the ball will be. So we'll just use d equals 1/2 gt squared. So we're going to go d equals 1/2 times gravity, 10 meters per second squared times 1 second squared. Half of 10 is 5. 1 squared is 1. 5 times 1, of course, is just 5 meters. So after our first second of free fall, we are 5 meters away from where the ball was dropped. Let's do it again for 2 seconds. It's going to be the same equation, right? D equals 1/2 at squared. A is gravity. The time is 2 seconds this time. Okay, we can't forget to square that time. So D is going to be 1/2 times 10, which is 5. Times 2 squared. 2 squared is 4. 5 times 4 is 20 meters. We'll do the same thing for 3 seconds. D equals 1/2 gt squared. So 10 meters per second squared times 3 seconds squared. Half of 10 is 5. 3 squared is 9. The displacement after 3 seconds will be 45 meters. We do the same thing for 4 seconds. Okay, D equals 1/2 times 10 meters per second squared times 4 seconds squared. Half of 10 is 5. 4 squared is 16. 5 times 16 is 80 meters. So let's go back to the diagram here. We're going to go ahead and plot where the ball is at 1, 2, 3, and 4 seconds. So after the first second, we would be 5 meters away from our original position. So we're going to use the scale that 1 centimeter is equivalent to 5 meters. So if we take a look here, the ball is at 0 at the very beginning. 1 second goes by. That means the ball is going to fall 5 meters. We're doing 1 centimeter is 5 meters. So the ball will be here after the first second of free fall, right? 5 meters down. Okay. After the second goes by, the ball is 20 meters away from its original position. So remember, every 5 meters is equivalent to a centimeter. So we should be 5, 10, 15, 20, we'd be 4 centimeters down after our second. Okay, after the next, we're going to be 45 meters away, which is equivalent to 9 centimeters, right? Because it's a 5-to-1 ratio. And then after the fourth second, we'll be 80 meters away, which is equivalent to 16 centimeters. So the ball should be in the air for a total of 4 seconds before it reaches the ground. Now, the question is, how many seconds is the ball going to be in the air over here? Well, it's going to be the exact same answer, folks. The ball is moving horizontally, but remember, horizontal velocity does not impact vertical velocity. So gravity is only acting up and down, so this ball will go into free fall and take 4 seconds to get to the ground, while at the same time it's also traveling horizontally. Okay? So the very first question here is they just want us to tell them how long the ball will be in the air. Of course, we know that that's going to be 4 seconds. So now in the above right, what they want us to do is combine where the ball is vertically with where the ball will be horizontally. So again, what we see here is this is where the ball is at time 0, 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds. What you should notice is that the gaps between each position is equal. Okay, we've seen this before. When the gaps between each position is equal, that means the ball is traveling the same distance every second. So the horizontal velocity, or the Vx, right, that we would call that, is constant. It might be 2 meters per second, 2 meters per second, 2 meters per second, 2 meters per second, something of that nature. Okay. Now what we need to do is we're going to combine our vertical motion, which is accelerated, our ball speeding up downward, with our horizontal motion, which is constant. So all I'm going to do is, and you can do the same here. I'm going to take my dotted line tool, and I'm going to draw a dotted line over from where my drop position is for 1 second over to where my horizontal position is for 1 second. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing. Here's my drop position for 2 seconds. Here's my horizontal position after 2 seconds. Drop position, try to get that to snap straight. There we go. Versus horizontal position. There we go. So about there. And then, of course, we're at the ground at the very end. So we'll go straight down here. So what do we end up seeing? Well, if we combine our two positions here, folks, of where the ball is in space horizontally with where the ball will be vertically, what we end up getting is something that looks like this. At the first second, the ball will be here. After 2 seconds, the ball will have fallen 20 meters and then traveled horizontally to that position. After 3 seconds, the ball will have fallen 45 meters and traveled horizontally to that position. And then at the very end, the ball will be all the way here. What you should notice is that as time goes on, the vertical displacement of the ball is increasing, okay? The parabola here gets steeper and steeper. The reason for that is that our ball is traveling faster and faster vertically. Okay, as time goes on, our ball travels to the right the same distance each second, but vertically it grows. Okay, so what we end up getting is this very steep parabola. If this ball was allowed to fall even further, we would notice it would be even steeper. Okay, so this is what all projectiles look like, because projectiles travel horizontally through the air at a constant velocity, but accelerate vertically due to gravity. So all of our projectiles will appear as a parabola. So double check this file, make sure you have this in here. We'll go ahead and answer question 2. How is the motion in the vertical direction affected by the motion in the horizontal direction? It's not. All right, it is not. Okay, Vx and Vy, our horizontal and vertical velocities, are independent of one another. Okay, again, the moral of the story is that what we do vertically is independent of what we do horizontally. Okay, a vertical vector has no horizontal component, and a horizontal component has no vertical component. So they are independent of one another. Go ahead and double check all your work on this. Make sure you have this part of the page filled in. We're going to skip the following pages and do those at another date. Thanks for watching.